Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on WNJC Radio 1360 a.m. or around the world on the internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our websites, ConservativeCommandosRadioNetwork.com and CCRN.com for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where even more newsmakers go to be heard.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stocking. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world on the internet. We're coming to you live from the CCRS studios, WNJC 1360. This is the Conservative Commandos radio show with your host, Rick Trader. The Conservative Commandos radio show, where the newsmakers go to be heard. You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando radio show.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back to Conservative Commandos radio show with Rick Trader and Anna Little. If you would like to hear a rebroadcast of today's show, please check out our websites, CCRS Network and CCRShow.com. For mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, log on to LeadingEdgeRadioNetwork.com. 1 p.m., RoarRadio.net, and 6 p.m., ThePunditPress.com. And now you can listen to Conservative Commandos from any telephone by calling 832-999-1199. Our next guest is with us, and the honor of the introduction is mine. Rob Nikolewski is the National Energy Correspondent for Watchdog.org. He's an Emmy-winning news anchor who has held many prominent positions in journalism field for over 10 years, working for MSNBC, Fox Sports Net, Pittsburgh, and several local television stations. And he served as the bureau chief for New Mexico Watchdog and Capitol Report for New Mexico for 4 years. Rob, welcome back to Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thanks for having me back, Anna.
Now, Rob, you've written an article, or at least you've posted something here entitled How One Congressional Investigation into a Climate Scientist is Different from Another. Now, wait a minute, Rob. This is Congress we're talking about. Isn't it supposed to be official, and isn't it supposed to be one line? How is it that one investigation might differ from another? Talk to us.
Well, right now, there's a climate scientist by the name of Jagadish Shukla. He's from George Mason University, and he's being investigated by the House Science Committee, which is chaired by Lamar Smith, who is a conservative Republican out of Texas. And so Shukla's being investigated because there's been some question about his funding. He received $314,000 last year from George Mason University, but he also received $333,000 from this climate organization that he runs in Maryland. And so there's been some question about whether or not he's been double dipping. Now, the other investigation that really stopped before it even got started was back in late February, early March. There was a liberal Democrat by the name of Raul Grijalva. He is a congressman out of Arizona, and he sent a letter to 7 universities questioning and demanding that they hand over various documents and communications and financial documents regarding 7 scientists who Grijalva didn't like because they were questioning the orthodoxy behind climate change. Now, Grijalva eventually backed down because he got a lot of criticism. And so the story I wrote was comparing the Grijalva investigation with the Smith investigation that's going on right now. And the big difference is Smith insists this has nothing to do with questioning someone's belief or non-belief in climate change, but the fact that Shukla has these questionable financial records. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay, but it is centering around climate change, obviously, and when you look into the financial records of someone, you're really looking into their credibility. Have they been swayed by someone while they're trying to, or ostensibly carrying out this neutral job that they're supposed to be doing? So even though we're looking into the financials behind Shukla, it's really his credibility that's at issue and whether he's broken any laws. Am I right?
Yeah, well, there's some question about whether or not he's broken any laws in regards to George Mason University, which is a public university, and they're based in Virginia. And according to Virginia law, there's some question about whether or not what he's doing, as I mentioned before, he's getting $314,000 a year as a university professor, but he's also getting $333,000 a year from this organization that he's running as well. So there's some question about whether that constitutes double dipping, and that's pretty much at the heart of this thing. The Chairman Smith has already sent a letter to the attorney for Mr. Shukla or Dr. Shukla saying, we want to get more information from you. But as far as I know, and I've been checking just about every day, they have not received a response back from Shukla. So that's going to be the interesting thing, is what kind of showdown this is going to lead up to.
Okay, but the organization that Shukla is heading up, apart from his job at the university, that's regarding climate change, right?
Yes, precisely. And they've received $63 million since 2001 in various grants from the National Science Foundation, from NASA, from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So we're talking about a pretty good chunk of change here.
Okay. And so the ethics of this individual come into question at a time when climate change, actually the positions with regard to climate change have been questioned, that perhaps their basis has been manipulated. And there are scientists that have actually jumped ship from the whole climate change movement because they became aware that there was some manipulation of the facts here, and pure scientists, they want to deal only in the accurate scientific facts. So, it seems to me like there should be some connection here between the credibility of this individual, his ethics, and the organization that he's putting forward, and the fact that there is so much grant money that is being dumped into this organization. I think it should bring some of the folks behind those grants into question as well. I mean, ethics and truthfulness, that trustworthiness, that is paramount in this climate change movement. If you can't trust the people that are putting the information forward, the talking points forward, and referencing the science on which they're basing that, if you can't trust them to be ethical and truthful, then your movement has absolutely no foundation. Am I right?
Yeah, well, that's really going to be the crux of the issue, because climate change, climate science has become really polarized in recent years. And I've written a number of stories about this. I've talked to Judith Curry, who's a very decorated scientist, climate scientist out of Georgia Tech. And she's become, in the last couple of years, she's become sort of the center of this crossfire, because she's a climate scientist from Georgia Tech. Now, she believes that the Earth is getting warmer, and she does believe that humans have something to do with that. But where it differs from a lot of the more, left-wing people on in the climate debate is, even though she says the Earth is getting warmer, humans has something to do with it. She questions whether or not some things, how much of that can be attributed to humans. And
well, in other words, she's looking at the facts, and that's actually very encouraging that somebody is looking at the facts, and I like the fact that that's going on. Listen, we've got to go for a quick break. Okay. It's about 2 minutes. Will you hold on?
Sure.
Thanks so much. Listeners, we are coming to you live from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios, WNJC 1360, our flagship station in Philadelphia and around the world on the Internet, with CPR Worldwide Media, Leading Edge Radio Network, TalkStream Live, The Pundit Press, SHR Media, K98 Talk, iHeartRadio, Roar Radio, and AM/FM 24/7. They are all.com. We will be right back after the break with Rob Nikolewski, Rick Trader, and Anna Little talking about climate change.
I really don't care. That's my prerogative. They say I'm nasty, but I...
The Conservative Commandos radio show is expanding to become the Conservative Commandos Radio Network. We are establishing a front line of conservative radio broadcasters and ironclad patriots to declare war against the madness of liberalism and the Obama administration. Are you tired of the disregard for our Constitution? Do you still have faith in the American dream? Are you looking for sensible, smart radio? If so, listen to the Conservative Commandos Radio Network every weekday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on WNJC Radio, 1360 on your AM dial, or around the world on the Internet at WNJCradio.com. Check out our website, CCRSnetwork.com, for rebroadcasts and network updates. We are the Conservative Commandos Radio Network, where now even more newsmakers go to be heard.
Hi, this is Bob Viden, owner of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. I've had the opportunity to travel in many foreign countries, and I've seen what happens to people when they lose their freedom. I wrote this poem. Give us freedom was the cry as they marched throughout the night. At Concord Bridge in Trenton, for freedom they would fight. To build a nation that would last with peace and liberty, it is a job that's never done if we are to be free. They wrote a declaration to announce that we are free, then a constitution for all the world to see. But this is ink on paper. We must make it last. It must always be defended, and that is quite a task. Today the battle rages for freedom in our land. To save our Constitution, we all must take a stand. We must stand up for freedom in our actions every day, and you can stand up with us. Join the NRA. This is Bob Viden of Bob's Little Sports Shop in Glassboro, New Jersey. You may call us at area code 856-881-7575 or visit us online at bobslittle.sportshop.com.
This holiday season, help Soldiers for Stockings improve the morale and welfare of members of our armed forces deployed overseas. Now through November 20th, there is so much work to be done, and you can help in many ways. Download the stocking pattern from stockingsforsoldiers.org and start sewing today. Volunteer to help decorate and assemble stockings. Donate Christmas candies, snacks, nuts, chips, drink mixes, DVDs, books, magazines, lip balm, toiletries, and other items needed to fill the stockings. Or help make packets of snowman soup, hot chocolate, to send along with the stockings. For more information, patterns, and a list of items needed, visit stockingsforsoldiers.org. This holiday season, help send our troops a touch of home. For many, it's all they will receive. All stockings need to be completed by November 20th. So get started today at stockingsforsoldiers.org. That's stockingsforsoldiers.org. Stockings for Soldiers, sending stockings filled with joy to our soldiers in harm's way for the 9th consecutive year.
You can call the Conservative Commandos radio show at 856-227-1360. Your opinion counts at 856-227-1360.
This is Congressman Alan West, and you're listening to the Conservative Commando Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos Radio Show with Anna Little and yours truly, Rick Trader. And for rebroadcasts of our shows, check out our websites, ccrshow.com or ccrsnetwork.com, or mornings at 9 a.m., log on to leadingedgeradionetwork.com. At 1 p.m., log on to roarradio.net, or at 6 p.m., log on to thepunditpress.com. You can also hear our show from your telephone by calling 832-999-1199. All right.